Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Study with Anabia. Today we're diving into a chapter that literally runs through our veins. Blood. Now don't worry, I'm not here to take your blood sample. I'm here to make this topic fun and easy to understand.
Think of blood as the body's personal delivery service, like Food Panda, but instead of biryani and fries, it's carrying oxygen and nutrients. And sometimes, it even delivers a few uninvited guests. So stay with me, because this lecture is going to be packed with science, surprises, and just the right amount of bloody humor.
Let's talk about blood. You know, when we think of blood, we usually just picture a red liquid, but it is so much more than that. It's actually a complex, living tissue that's absolutely essential to our health. And, believe it or not, it's as unique to each of us as our own fingerprint. So have you ever really thought about that? How can this one fluid tell doctors so much about what's going on inside our bodies? I mean, from a simple checkup to diagnosing something serious, the entire story of our health seems to be written in our blood. Okay, so let's dive in and see how. All right, first things first, what is blood actually made of? We're going to zoom in and take a look at what's happening inside just a single drop. So if you take a blood sample and spin it really fast in a centrifuge, something cool happens. It separates out into 3 layers, and you can see what it's truly made of. The biggest part, about 55%, is this yellowish liquid on top called blood plasma. Then at the bottom, you've got about 45% red blood cells. But look at that tiny little layer in the middle. That's called the buffy coat. It's less than 1% of the total volume, but it's packed with all the white blood cells and platelets. And all these solid parts together, they have a name, the formed elements. And really, these formed elements are just a fancy way of saying all the cellular stuff that's floating around in the plasma. So that's our red blood cells, our white blood cells, and those little bits and pieces called platelets. And each one of them has a super important job to do. Which brings us to the cellular workforce itself. Honestly, I like to think of them as blood's very own super team. So let's meet the key players, shall we? First up, you've got the plasma. It's mostly water, sure, about 91.5%, but you can think of it as the liquid highway of the body. It carries everything, nutrients, hormones, proteins, you name it, wherever it needs to go. It's the river that lets the rest of the super team do its job. Next on the team are the red blood cells, also known as erythrocytes. These guys are the oxygen carriers. They're just packed with a special protein called hemoglobin, which literally grabs onto oxygen in your lungs and carries it to every single cell in your body. They're why blood is red, and they're why your body has fuel to function. Then you have the white blood cells, or leukocytes. These are the bodyguards. They're the mobile units of your immune system, constantly on patrol, hunting down and destroying invaders like bacteria and viruses. They are your personal security force. And finally, the platelets. And get this, they're not even complete cells. They're just these tiny little fragments. Think of them as the body's emergency repair crew. The second you get a cut, platelets rush to the site of the injury to form a quick plug and get the whole clotting process started to stop the bleeding. So, now that you've met the team, what are their main missions? Well, we can really boil it all down to 3 absolutely critical functions that, keep us alive. And these 3 jobs, transportation, regulation, and protection, they all work together perfectly. Blood is this incredible system that's doing a constant balancing act. It's a delivery service, a climate control system for your whole body, and a first response security force, all rolled into one. Okay, so let's look at what happens when the system is under pressure. We're talking high-stakes situations like a serious injury or a blood transfusion. The official term for stopping bleeding is hemostasis. And what's amazing is that this isn't some chaotic, messy process. No, it's a super fast, very specific, and incredibly well-controlled series of events designed to plug a leak without, shutting down the entire highway system. The very first thing that happens in hemostasis is forming a platelet plug. It happens in 3 steps. First, you get platelet adhesion. That's where platelets literally stick to the tear in the blood vessel. This immediately triggers the platelet release reaction, where they start shooting out chemical signals, basically screaming for backup. And that leads to platelet aggregation, where more and more platelets arrive and pile on to form a temporary plug. It's just a beautiful, coordinated response that happens in seconds. Now, switching gears to transfusions, let's talk blood types. Your blood type is all about these little markers or antigens on the surface of your red blood cells. If you have A antigens, you're type A, B antigens, you're type B. If you've got both, you're AB, and if you have neither, you're type O. But here's the really crucial part. Your plasma has antibodies that are designed to attack the antigens that you don't have, and that's why a mismatch is so incredibly dangerous. And this slide right here shows you why that matters so much. When a transfusion is compatible, no problem, the new blood flows freely. But if it's incompatible, the recipient's antibodies attack the donor's blood cells. This causes something called agglutination, basically clumping, which can block blood vessels. It can also lead to hemolysis, where the red blood cells literally burst. It's a massive, life-threatening immune reaction, which is why matching blood types is non-negotiable. So, to start wrapping this up, let's just take a moment to really appreciate the incredible scale and the pure energy of this river of life that's flowing inside every single one of us. Get ready for this. Your body produces about 2 million new red blood cells every single second. Okay? Not per day, not per hour, every second. It's just a mind-boggling rate of production, and it's all happening just to make sure every part of you gets the oxygen it needs to survive. And each one of those millions of new cells, it'll work nonstop for about 120 days, traveling through your body again and again before it's finally retired and recycled by the body. This constant cycle of creation and destruction is what makes blood a truly living, dynamic tissue. It's always rebuilding itself. So when you think about blood from now on, I hope you remember these key things. It is not just some red stuff. It's a complex, living tissue. It's a super team where every single component has a vital mission, and that teamwork is absolutely crucial for survival. And finally, that river of life inside you, it's as unique as you are. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This river of life flowing through you is constantly changing, responding to your world, and telling a unique story about your health in real time. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What story is your blood telling right now? Thanks so much for joining me.
And that's it for today's bloodiful journey. If you enjoyed learning with me and didn't faint along the way, then please smash that like button. It's basically a digital high five. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next lecture. And ring the bell because unlike hemoglobin, YouTube doesn't automatically carry my videos to you. Thank you for watching. Keep your concepts flowing as smoothly as your blood. Until next time, Allah Hafez.